present material about participle phrase. Before that, my name is Alouita Surbakti and my friends from the group 12 are there.
Hello guys, my name is Sisilia Huswatun Hasanah and my friend is...
Hello everyone, my name is Sisilia romatua Marianita.
And my name is Rahmat Raditya. In this video, we want to talk about participle verb. Let's check it out and enjoy it.
Participle phrases. Do you know what is mean participle phrases? Participles is a word that is formed from a verb and used as an adjective to modify nouns. Participles form do not indicate time. It may also express future time and emphasize that action happened before the time of the main clause's verb. Okay guys, now how to use of the participle phrase? The participle phrase is used in both adjective clause and reduced adverbial clause. In adjective clause reduction, participles are used in place of the relative pronouns and verbs that are reduced. The present participle phrase is used in reducing adjective clause active voice, while the past participle phrase is used in reducing adjective clause passive voice. Whereas in the reduction of the adverbial clause, subject, verb, and without conjunction can be replaced with a participle if the subject in the adverbial clause and the independent clause are the same. The participle phrases consist of 1. Participle phrases of relative clauses. To form participle phrases from relative clauses, remove the relative pronoun who, which, or that and change the verb to participle. I have 2 examples and let's see the difference. Number 1. A pedestrian bleeding from several wounds. Wait for someone to help him. Example 1. The phrase who is a relative pronoun. To form a participle phrases from a relative clauses, remove the relative pronoun and change the verb to participle. Example number 2. The pedestrian bleeding from several wounds wait for someone to help him. The participle phrases from the relative clauses is seen in example 2. The phrase who is delayed and the verb is changed to a participle. Second, position and punctuation of participle phrase. Participle phrase is like a relative clause. The position of a participle phrase in a sentence depends on whether it is restrictive or non-restrictive. The restrictive participle phrase follows the modified noun, and a non-restrictive participle phrase might precede or follow the modified noun. Look at this example. Example number 1. There are 12 students receiving award this year. Simple present with participle phrase. And example number 2. Hurrying to catch a bus, Teresa stumbled and fell. Past continuous with participle phrase. Example number 1 is a restrictive phrase because it's followed with the modified noun, and also the comma in this sentence is not used. On the example number 2, if the original clause was non-restrictive, the phrase will be non-restrictive phrase and separated of the sentence by comma.
Okay guys, now I will continue the third material. The third material is general form participles active voice. So what is general form participles active voice? The general form of participle in active voice verb by adding subs in. It might come from present, past, or future tense. I will show you some examples. Verb tense. First, simple present. Many students who study at this university are from foreign countries. Who study at this university is a relative clause. So what is the participle phrases? Many students studying at this university are from foreign countries. Studying at this university is participle phrases. Next, present continuous. Students who are taking calculus must buy a graphing calculator. Who are taking calculus is relative clauses. And participle phrases is students taking calculus must buy a graphing calculator. Taking calculus is a participle phrases. And then simple past. Example, the team members who look happy after their victory were cheered by the fans. Who look happy after their victory is relative clauses. So the participle phrases is the team member looking happy after their victory were cheered by the fans. Looking happy after their victory is participle phrases. Next, past continuous. The crowd, which was cheering wildly as the game ended, wouldn't leave the stadium. Which was cheering wildly as the game ended is a relative clauses. So participle phrases is cheering wildly as the game ended. The crowd wouldn't leave the stadium. Cheering wildly as the game ended is participle phrases. And the last, future. Everyone who will take the TOEFL next month must pre-register. Who will take the TOEFL next month is relative clauses. So participle phrases is everyone taking the TOEFL next month must pre-register. Everyone taking the TOEFL next month is participle phrases. And the fourth is general form participles passive voice. So what is general form participles passive voice? The general form of participle in the passive voice is the past participle or that of a verb. This form can be present and past tense verbs. Now I will show you some examples. The first example is simple present tense. Relative clauses. Example. Lab reports that are not handed in by Friday will not be accepted. That are not handed in by Friday is a relative clause. So what is participle phrase? Participle phrase is lab reports not handed Friday will not be accepted. And the second example is simple past tense. The prisoner who was surrounded by guard walked calmly to his execution. Who was surrounded by guard is relative clauses. So participle phrase is surrounded by guards. The prisoner walked calmly to his execution. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Continuous from participle is using the continuous from participle inverse that is action is happening now. Make the continuous from with being plus a past participle being so, being held. In verb 10, example is present continuous. In relative clause, allow that is currently being debated conscious abortion right. In participle verbs, allow currently being debate conscious abortion right. In past continuous, in relative clause is the things that we are being forced around campus support abortion right. In participle verbs, the thing being forced around campus support abortion right. In future, relative clause is a movie that will be shown tomorrow was made by anti-abortion group. In participle verbs, a movie being shown tomorrow was made by an anti-abortion. Okay, next. Perfect from participle. Participle in perfect from implies the action main verb. They are both active form. is having a clause, a past participle, and passive form is having been and past participle. Both present perfect or past perfect verbs can be changed into perfect from participle. In example, is present perfect are active. In relative clause, the secrets of the universe which have possible for conscious are slowly being realized. And participle verb is the secret of the universe having first nature people for conscious and are slowly being relevant. And its example is past perfect or passive. In relative clause, the film which had been shown too often in movie theater. And in participle verbs, the film having been shown too often in movie theater. Okay, thank you very much.
Now, let's talk about reducing adverbial clauses to participle phrases. Participle phrases can also be formed from adverbial clauses. The time and the reason clauses introduced by subordinators like while, after, before, since, because, and as can be reduced to participle phrases if the subject of both the adverbial and independent clauses are same. The question is how to change adverbial clauses to participle phrases. These are the steps to change adverbial clauses to participle phrases. First of all, make sure that the subject of adverbial clause and the subject of the independent clause are same. Second, delete the subject of the adverbial clause. If possible, move it to the subject position in the independent clause. Next, change the adverbial clause verb to the appropriate participle. And last, delete or retain the subordinator according to the following rules. And what are the rules? First, retain this word if it's the time subordinator before and since. For example, number 1. Before she chooses a college, she should consider several factors. According to the rules, so the answer is before choosing a college, a student should consider several factors. Or, a student should consider several factors before choosing a college. Second, delete all these three subordinators if it's a time subordinator because, since, and as. For example, number 1. Because Carlos came from very conservative family, he was shocked at the American system of quiet dormitories. According to the following rules, so the answer is coming from a very conservative family, Carlos was shocked at the American system of quiet dormitories. Number 2. As he gradually got used to American customs, he became less homesick. According to the following rules, the answer is gradually getting used to American customs, he became less homesick. And the last rule is retain this word after, while, and when if the participle phrase followed by the independent clause. When the phrase is in another position, we may retain or delete these subordinators. For example, number 1. After he had passed the TOEFL exam, he became a freshman at his college. According to the following rules, the answer is after passing the TOEFL exam, he became a freshman at his college. Or, having passed the TOEFL exam, he became a freshman at his college. Or, he became a freshman at his college after passing the TOEFL exam. Number 2. While he was preparing for the TOEFL, he lived with an American family. According to the rule, the answer is While preparing for the TOEFL, he lived with an American family. Or, preparing for the TOEFL, he lived with an American family. Or, he lived with an American family while preparing for the TOEFL. And the last example is, when he was asked about his life in the United States, he said that he was enjoying himself, but that he a little homesick. According to the rule, the answer is, when asked about his life in United States, he said that he was enjoying himself, but that he was a little homesick. Or, asked about his life in United States, he said that he was enjoying himself, but that he was a little homesick. So remember, a participle phrase from an adverbial clause may be placed in the several positions of a sentence. If a participle phrase from a reduced adverbial clause comes in front of, in the middle of the independent clause, punctuate it with commas. If it comes after independent clause, do not use comma. There are some important points about participle phrases. First, participles are adjectives form of verbs. Some participles come from active voice verb and also passive voice verbs. Second, participle phrases may be formed by reducing relative clauses. A non-restrictive participle phrase may be followed with the modified noun and is set off by commas. A restrictive participle phrase must be followed with the modified noun and is not set off by commas. A non-restrictive participle phrase may also modify the entire sentence, and in some cases, it has a comma at the end of sentence. And the last point is, participle phrases may also be reduced from time and reason adverbial clauses. Participle phrases reduced from time clauses may be placed various positions in a sentence. And sometimes, the time subordinators are deleted or retained. Participle phrases reduced from reason clauses may come from before or after the independent clause in a sentence. The reason subordinators are always deleted. Okay, that's all about participle phrases. Thank you for your attention and signs to watch out our video. We hope what we have shared will be beneficial for us, and see you next time.